We have a great presentation here tonight from Chad and Lisa Smith. They're going to come up and talk to us about property that they bought here about a year and a half ago. And this is their second time to come up. Last year they came up and talked to us about a property that they had a year before that or so. And so they have been going through the process. They've been very successful, and they're going to come up and share their story with us. So you guys come on up. You want one of these or do you want to come out? Okay, so Chad and Lisa, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello. My background is I'm a public school teacher, worked in public school for 15 years, and then I had my first son at 38, and I didn't want to work and someone else raised him, so I opened a homeschooling thing, and I did that for 12 years. I homeschooled my kids, and I had a total of 12 children, 7 different grade levels. So I'm from that background, and how we got started in this was I loved my school, and I enjoy children, and I enjoy teaching. And we were already passive investors, and we were thinking about jumping ship, and I called Karen Fisher and asked could I volunteer with her before I screw up my life and change anything here, and see if I even like it, and I loved it. So this is about Chad.
I'm Chad. I've been a power plant electrician, no judgment, for about 20 plus years, and I transitioned over to being the planner coordinator for the electrician craft, and that's about it.
Excellent. So you guys came in, and how much real estate experience did you have?
None at all.
None. Very good. So you guys were able to follow the program and be successful multiple times. So,
Yes.
and thank you for giving back with this one. All right, so then why did you, oh, did I go backwards? I did. So there's our operations consultants. Here we go.
It's amateur night tonight.
Yeah. All right, why'd you guys join Lifestyles?
I had called my brother about investing more money for my children's education or what to do because their 529 plan was not making any money. And his background is a financial planner. So I had called him to get education, and he said he had talked to Chad about Lifestyles. Well, you could talk to Chad about anything. Nothing's going to happen. You got to talk to me.
That's not true. That is not true.
So I called him that day. He told me about Lifestyles. I looked it up online. They had that class, the introduction. I came that day. I called Meredith, the wife, and said, is this legit? Because I had no clue. And she's like, yes. I trusted her more so than Brian, because Brian's tried a lot of different things to make money. And so we did that, and we joined that night. We did the 2-day with David Fisher, and before that, I just started moonlighting with Karen right after that. So.
Awesome. So then let's talk a little bit about the property that you're going to show us tonight.
Okay. This is Boardwalk at Windcrest. It's 124 units, built in 1984. We purchased it November 13th, 2020, it was 8.75. And out of pocket, $71 a door. Our initial financing, our loan, we got a Fannie Mae loan, and it's 6155.
And
So-
thank you, David Balls.
Yes.
So I got a question. You're out of pocket. You guys put $4 million of your own money in this deal?
No.
No. So how did that work?
Lifestyles, because we had no background doing this, and so by being a lead investor, first you're an expiring lead, and you get your education, and you have your niche of friends that's going to push you through and believe in you, and that's what we did. So
you got investors. How many investors do you have?
I have in this deal 69 investors.
And then what would be the range of investment?
The highest we have is $200,000, and the lowest is $7,000.
So you have $7,000. Does anybody here
Yeah.
have $7,000 they'd like to put in a project that they're going to make multiples on? Yeah.
We do things. It costs a lot of money to join Lifestyles, and I'm very thrifty. And we want to give back to the little people because we had no money to do this. I was self-employed for 12 years. We can't touch his pension, so we can't take anything for what we have. So in order for us to buy our first property, we had yard sales that were $15,000, $20,000. I sold my husband's toys, all of them. And we're Christians, so I prayed like nonstop, and I prayed over Chad because, we didn't know what we were doing. We were not from the industry at all. I did well on Karen's, and I was like, Karen, can I really do this? She's like, girl, you're working for free and kicking it, So I'm like, okay. So it gave me that confidence to take that step. And I just prayed nonstop. And it's like, okay, God, let this exalt our family. If it's not, shut the door. And I live by faith in all that I do. And my poor husband, we sold his well, he's like, we'll sell your travel trailer, and then, we'll sell his King Ranch truck or whatever. Well, the people that bought the travel trailer, they wrecked their truck, and I'm like, let me make you a deal. So he came home from work, and
She
I'm
made
like,
a heck
"How's
of a
your
deal."
truck?" It's gone. But we free up 70 grand, and so in a year, I guess, we saved 100 grand at home.
So you guys had to get this place so you have a place to live at this point, huh?
I was thinking about selling my house so we could do the apartment stuff, because I saw the difference it made in Brian and Maris' life and other people, and I'm like, we could get there. Nothing's wrong with us, I'm a good student. So it's just the determination in doing it.
Very good. Now let's talk a little bit about the numbers. There's going to be another slide. Yes,
Before
sir.
we move on, you've got 69 investors, and we've got a couple hundred people online from all over the country. What states are your investors from? Are they just Texas?
Oh, no, they're all over. No, and we try to reach out to people that are not invested in, not in any deals, because we want you to have a really good lead and make a lot of money. So you recap what you pay lifestyles and nothing flat. I mean, we do very well on our property.
So what states other than Texas are your members
We
from?
have California, we have
California, Hawaii, Florida.
And all these people
Alaska.
came to see the property before you bought it?
No.
No, I do presentations. So as a lead, we put together a package and give you an information packet, and you read it and you make the judgment call yourself. We actually went with brand new investors who were scared to invest, brand new passives, not in any deals, and had coffee with them or tea. And I took my computer and showed them what I did on my other properties, and this is what I do. Because we want you to be comfortable with because you're a partner in this deal. And so we actually, before COVID, had projects like at our property. We have a landscaper here that came and helped me landscape. And so our passives contributed, and that's only if you want to, but we want you to feel a part of it because you're a business owner too.
So a little bit about,
I got a couple.
what, another one?
Is this your first deal?
No, this is my third deal.
So anybody in the room invested in your first deal?
Yes.
good question.
Raise your hand.
So if
you
you're
were
in the first deal, there you go. So you got some repeat
too?
investors?
You let the boys in?
Yeah, so what I did for the kids, their 529 plan wasn't making any money. When Caden, I'm a school teacher, okay, so we don't need any toys, we need academics. So his first birthday was no presents. You want to donate to his college, that's fine, give me a check. So I took no presents. He got $900 and for his first year birthday. And then
Real quick, so y'all see, she's pretty serious about nobody having toys.
hey, the kids even sold their stuff at the yard sales too. But so by the time we cashed it out when we bought North Star, our first deal, he had $800 and I had invested $900 to begin with. So we put no more money in it, and it had went down in those 8 years or 6 years. And they had birthday money, they had savings accounts, so we gave them some money. So we put 25 in each deal, in our first two, and they did 35 in this one, and they're doing 8,000 in my next one apiece. So their 25
Happy investors.
made 8,000 our first deal, and 8,000 to Roscoe, because the numbers are very close. And you'll see the numbers on this deal. So
Yeah,
when I pay out my
you'll be
passive,
pleasantly surprised, yes.
my children are like, hey, I know you signed all those checks, but I've looked at my bank account and there's not been an increase in my funds. So they're very into what we do. They go to Expo, they sell our product. They're like, we buy deep value plays, we rehab, this is your percent of returns, and they know it. They're learning they're doing exactly what Odin's doing. So, and it's about that. It's about teaching them.
All right, so you were in the first deal, and the boys were in your first deal. Who was in their second deal? Anybody in the second? Okay. Who's in their third deal? Raise your hands up high. Okay. Let's go through the numbers. And the last question of the night is going to be, who wants to be in their fourth? Okay.
There'll be a lot of hands, just wait, yeah. So a little bit about the numbers. Here in a minute, you're going to see another slide that kind of puts this together and puts it in more perspective. But for the new guys that are in, we're going to talk, Chris is going to teach you a little bit about NOI, right? So you got your income minus your expenses, that's your NOI, and that's really what drives the value of the properties on the multifamily side. And so it's a very important number. The cash flow monthly for this particular property is $48,000, and they have distributed $385,000 to date.
We're not on that slide.
What am Why isn't it showing them on? Yeah, we were. Yeah. So then, which is about 9%, and they have, so if you recall on the previous slide, it was $8.7 million, is that what it
Yeah.
cost? And so the current value of that property is $17 million. So it's doubled up in 19 months? How many months we got this?
We've had it 19.
19 months, doubled the value of the property, not the value of the investment, value of the property. So that's a big deal. Okay, so then tell us a little bit about the rehab.
Okay, so the before and after. So on the before, I'm like mechanically inclined, so I get in the nitty gritty and want to figure out every dollar for my passes because I need to budget correctly. So I'm not saying, hey, I made a mistake, too bad you're not going to check, you know. So when we did feasibility, we had our passive investors come walk the property because I want your input and you're going to help me more assess, hey, it's going to cost new cabinets, new counter, flooring, whatever. Well, Kim Washington and we couldn't do 9 units, and so she came with me. And we went in these units, and I noticed water damage on the floors. So I got up in the attic and looked, and in the attic, you could see the chimneys. You could see outside. Well, there's 33
Sunroofs.
chimneys, okay? So that was a budget we did not know, because, you know, no one caught it. But it's getting in the attics, it's doing the nitty-gritty, because you need to budget correctly and be good on your numbers, or the deal's not going to make money. So you need a very good. So before and after, so on this picture, we replaced all the siding on 9 buildings, 3 stories high, and we replaced 33 chimneys. We did flooring and upgraded the units as needed.
So if you look at the color of the property whenever you guys bought it, it was kind of a gray color, and obviously it's not the same type of gray color. Talk a little bit, how did you figure out those colors there?
I go big or go home. So that's who I am. I mean, everyone's like, no, don't do that. And I'm like, it's already painted. So his mom lived at the coast, so we went to the coast and went all the time. That's why I have the name Boardwalk. And so I wanted the colors because I want to set the stage. We have people get off 35 to go look at our property and want to move in. I mean, so we set the standard. Everyone else is all plain, and we're out there. And we were painting it. People were freaking out. And then as soon as it's done, it's like, I'm so like, I'm
It
at
looks
the
pretty.
coast here.
Yeah.
I'm relaxed, you know.
Yeah.
So it's really good. It's a blessing, and it's a gorgeous property.
If anybody goes down to the coast, Corpus, Rockport, you will see these colors, and these colors are naturally, they're called the Boardwalk colors, is what they're called. So that hence came Boardwalk at.
Very good. Now let's look at the interior, some of the stuff you did.
No,
We're working on that.
Boardwalk is the most expensive.
that's right.
Yeah. Park Place is
Go
second.
big or go home.
How many different colors are there?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The office is yellow. The office is the only one that's different, but yellow's my favorite color. So being the lead, you get to make these decisions.
It's very unique, but very pretty,
Thanks.
for sure. So talk a little bit about the interior upgrades.
Do you want to talk or no? Okay. Okay. Most of the flooring was done on this property. If they had ceramic tile, I left the ceramic tile. There are some units with carpet. If the carpet's clean, I left it. I do not spend any money we do not need to spend. We upgraded and put ceramic tile. I go to Home Depot and I buy what's on clearance. So I actually pull it all out and send it to my make-ready guy and say, I want this and this and this and this. And so we're very thrifty in all that we do. Lighting, same thing. I buy mass amounts of what I buy. So if I need to turn 25 units, I buy 25 lights at a time and just have it ready to go when we get it done.
Yeah, this is, I think, definitely a good example of best product, best price. If you look what they had before, it's fine, it's clean, it's livable, but the product that you have here afterwards is a much more beautiful place there. And I'm sure that you probably increased the rents.
Oh, yes,
Okay.
drastically.
All right. So let's look at one more slide on some of the befores and afters.
Okay, so the pool had cracks all in it. It wasn't so much cracks, but it was all like you felt the cement in it. It had already pulled up, so we had that resurfaced. We had put on the after, you'll see, and this was some of the properties or some of the apartments have 2 balconies, so we would paint the bottom just to make it cooler for the resident. And then the sign, it was just very plain, but it was up there already. So what I did on the sign is I ordered the letters from Amazon, and I wanted Boardwalk. I went to Home Depot and bought some wood and shellacked it. And actually that paint, because Hunter is my contractor I use, and that paint, he was working for Robert Hell, and he's like, Lisa, I have Robert's paint in my truck. I'm like, let me have it.
Stealing my
So
paint.
He didn't even
Stealing
know
my
that.
paint.
I'm like, when we were going through the slide presentation, I'm like, that's your paint up there. But he was going to throw it away. I recycle.
Driftwood blue. Very good. I'm glad I could contribute to that. So I'll be expecting a check.
He's not even a passive in the deal, and he's making us money.
Yeah. All right. So this slide here kind of is going to go through the income and expenses, and really what we want you to see here is the increase in income is going to be pretty substantial year one to year two, and that's because that you had some vacancy, you had and
Yeah.
whatnot as you were doing like a tremendous amount of rehab, and then year two is really whenever you start to kick up and get that occupancy up with those higher rents, right?
Yes.
And then something that's interesting, this doesn't happen all the time, year one to year two expenses actually went down. So kind of say what are a couple things that would have made that happen?
What we did was they were paying like $3,500 for marketing. I don't pay that. I make signs with my Cricut machine, and I put those out. And Marcella, my manager, she's like, "You're freaking crazy." I walked in, she's like, "You're ghetto," and I'm like, "Put the signs up," you know. And then she had 5 people come in that day. Isabel's here; she could contest to that. And Isabella's just like, go with her. She knows what she's doing. Just suck it up and go with her. But Marcella is from the industry, but she's never seen anyone make homemade signs. But I decorate them real cutesy. You know, I use my Cricut. So they're not with a marker. But so I took those. She got 5 people that day, and I told her, I said, these are your new market rents. Raise the rent. And she's like, I can't do this. It's too high. I'm like, if you can't do it, I need to replace you. I could do it. And she's like, yes, ma'am. And so she did it, and she's like, holy crap, I didn't know that I could really do this. And I'm like, you have to have the guts or get out of the playing field. And so she's amazed, and now, like, when we go look at properties, she goes with me, and she's like, oh, they're way below market rent, you know? Because you push them to the limit and get it there, and the more income we make, the more income you make, you know? And so that's our goal in this, because the more money I make for you, the more money we make, too. You know, but on the expenses, they had a water leak on the property when we put this property under contract, and we didn't close for 4 months, and they still had the water leak when we closed. So that was a big thing, and the marketing was a big thing, and just a lot of deferred maintenance. Do you want to talk about that? You had said deferred maintenance. It was getting stuff up, there was just a lot of bad stuff, and we just got in there and got it done.
So, and for that year one, 4%, bumping up to 13%. So double-digit returns on a value play year two.
Yeah,
That's
we started
pretty
paying out
impressive.
at 9 months.
Yeah.
We were done with rehab by 6.
So the next slide here is going to show you the real value of what she's done here. So she bought it for $8.75 million. You see that NOI is $420,000. So year one NOI dipped because she was doing the rehab and there was some vacancy loss and things like that. But shortly after, you can see that the NOI jumped significantly there year two. So it's just a really conservative projection on NOI for year three. That property value at that NOI turns to $18 million. So it went from 8.7 to $18 million. So let's assume that we sell that, year three. You may not want to. It's cash flowing. Maybe you do a refi or supplemental or something. But just assuming you sell it at year three, the first thing you do is you pay off the debt. So that's $6.1 million. You return all of the original capital that was raised. So if you had $7,000, if you had $100,000, whatever you had, you get that money back before anything else happens there. And then, of course, you got to add back in your cash distributions for those 3 years. So these guys have brought $9 million of cash and equity to this project. If they were to sell it, that's a 211% return on over your original investment. You guys get that? So if you had $100,000, you got that back. Then you get another 100, then you get another 100. Now you get 11. So what do you think? Pretty good deal? Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So the question, so remember we had the hands that were raised. Chris asked some great questions on who's in the first deal, who's on the second deal, who's on the third deal. So then the question is, who would want to be on the fourth deal? If you're not raising your hand, you're asleep. All right. So then the NOI, we talked about how that drives the value. How did you improve the NOI?
We upped the rents. I brought them way up to my other properties. My other properties are not even comparable as pretty as Boardwalk. But I'm like, girlfriend, you got a gym, we're gonna max it out. And so I upped the rents, upped the fees on everything. I just brought them up to my standard at my other properties, but we were killing it at the other properties, and this was a better market this property was in. Increased all the fees, and we got rid of sure deposit. That's a deposit, but you pay for that. So we cut that out, and we just take deposits to protect the asset. We have gate openers, so we charge the resident for the key fobs, so that brought in more money. And everything, like I got cannons from a passive investor on my first property, North Star Apartments, and that was 2018. Those cannon are plants, and they're $10 for one at HEB. They are at all of my properties. Because you plant one, a month later you're gonna have 5. So you dig them up. So me and the children, we take all the plants. So we recycle all the plants at all the properties, and my properties are gorgeous. But I don't pay anything for landscaping. so you look at ways to cut costs, and I'm very, very good at that, you know.
And going back to the deferred maintenance, it was not just the siding and sidewalks and
It was
stuff.
a lot.
It was also having a maintenance guy that would go put a Band-Aid on something instead of actually fixing it. So once you get rid of the maintenance guy, get somebody in there that will actually work and fix something, then you're not spending a lot of money and time.
And like changing AC filters, you know, and, you know, checking ACs and just being on top of it all.
Well, you did a great job, obviously, on all these little things that make a big difference, and pushing your staff, and, you know, seeing what it should be, and then having them believe that it can be. That's a hard thing to do, you know, to get buy-in from somebody that hasn't seen it done before. So obviously you've done a great job. So wonderful on that. Tell us a little bit about how Lifestyles has impacted your life.
Well, we just bought our dream home, the $1 million house. So we're living the dream, and we're doing it. And it's been a blessing.
So you got a toy back? Did you get a toy?
He did.
No.
And my son just got a toy too. We paid cash for my son's truck. And so, I mean, it's amazing how this has changed my life. I go through Walmart or waitressing. I used to waitress just for fun because I like people. But
That's why your arm is in a sling right now.
no, it's not. But I see people working, and this is not a job to me. Like, I love what I do. And I even teaching school, 7 different grade levels, doing ITBS tests, everything, report cards, I was still bored. Like, I was bored. And I always worked 2 or 3 jobs in college. And so doing this, like, it actually fulfills me. And I see people working, though, and I think, God, I'm so blessed because I don't have to do that. But I took the leap. I got out of the, you know, I was scared as hell, but I prayed nonstop. And I was like, you know, God, it's yours. You know, because money, it's not going to go anywhere when you die. You know, so you can't take it with you in a casket. So it's what can you leave for your family? What legacy, what can you plant? How can you educate your children so they know this? Caden has friends. The mom's here, my friends, his friends. But they talk about different
They're
jobs.
our friends, too.
Yeah, they are too. But even her son is
They
like,
may not admit
Miss
it.
Lisa, how do I do what you do? You know, they're children, but they see like, holy crap, this shit's real. We got it going on. You know, you know, if you're not ever been in that situation, you never know it. So this has opened so many doors for us and our family and our investors, you know.
So what's next for you guys?
We're going to keep buying and rehabbing, you know, and just moving forward. And the boys are learning all. Caden had to read the PSA, you know, so he's learning how to read documents and reconcile checkbooks and all the property, all the management kind of stuff, because I want them to know. And they go on property, they know how to rehab. We did it all at the beginning to save money, and now I don't have to do it. I choose to do it because we have a staff, but the more we save or don't buy, if I could do it, you know, we're saving $500, $1,000, you know.
David and Odin, they're not the only ones that like being in rehab.
No, I really love rehab. I really love rehab. My kids know how to change out windows. When we moved to this house, it has a pool and a jacuzzi, but all the doors, there's 9 doors on this house, and they all had the lock where you needed a key to get it. We got 1 key when we bought the house, 1 key. There's 9 locks. You can't get out the door unless you open it with that 1 key. So
we all have smart locks now.
yeah, we have smart locks on all of our properties, but the kids, my brother's kids were with us. Y'all were with Dell and on vacation somewhere. And I had Brian's kids and Meredith's kids, and they taught them how to change out all the locks. And actually, Sammy, the little one, took the lock home so he could lock his door from his
There you go.
And Mary's like, why do you have this lock? Aunt Lisa gave it to me. I know how to put it on. I'm going to put it on my door so y'all can't come in. And she's like, no, you can't. You're 8 years old. But it's just neat what you're able to pass on to anyone in your life. You know, you just share it, and it's a blessing. And you're able to help so many more people.
Awesome. And then tell us who's on your team. Who helped you achieve this?
Doug was my mentor when I bought my first property. Robert Hales helped me in all our other stuff as well. We used LU Realty. HQ is my main contractor I use. I get 3 or 4 or 10 bids, and I just do apples to apples because I'm not going to overpay. Looking at insurance, I get bids because, you know, I mean, that's your job as a lead. I mean, as a passive, you don't have to do that because it's just on me to make y'all money. But the more bids you get, the more you could lower the cost. Say, hey, you know, it's $3,000 cheaper. Can you do that? You may give John Blow, you know, whatever. And then they'll, you know, work with you to get whatever price. But we have Yates HVAC, and he's just a guy we know, and he's wonderful. And he does all our properties, PPG paint because of my colors, you know.
And,
so they really love me.
And me because of your colors too, apparently.
Yes. And Robert helped. Yes. And Dave Laws. I use Dave Laws for everything at Old Capitol. I use him for all my projects. So
That's awesome.
very good.
Great presentation. Let's open it up to anybody who might have some questions, or anybody have anything? Yes, sir.
So, those are spectacular returns.
They are.
Thank
yeah,
you.
absolutely.
So, what did you project you were going to do?
My projections.
Hold on.
Oh, sorry.
So the question first, there was a
She
praise
just goes.
on what great returns there are, which absolutely these are great returns. And so the question really is, what did you tell everybody you were going to do?
We did not. No. Okay. I projected on my MFQA. I dumbed it down because I don't want everyone to think we're going to do that well. I know I'm budgeting 100% of my insurance year 2. I've never paid 100% of my insurance ever because I fight it every year.
Taxes.
But I'm not going to over.
Taxes.
Oh, and taxes. Yeah. Oh, sorry, taxes, not insurance. But it's taxes. So you budget. You have to budget correctly. But it's just being very cautious with your numbers because I don't want to tell you, hey, you're going to get 400% return. I only give you 100. You're going to talk bad about me. Mess up my business. You know, so we do very well. But on my first property, like I didn't even know because I was just a worker bee. I had a passive tell me, and it was 3 months into the deal, but we had 18 families move out year 2, and I rehabbed all those units and leased them $500 higher.
Wow.
So by that, when he got the P&L, he's like, ma'am, do you know you're at your 3rd year pro forma, and we're not even done with the 1st year yet? So that's how we've done it. On, oh, like total returns percentage? It was like a 5 or a 6 per year, and I've been paying out 9 every quarter.
So being conservative and overperforming.
Right.
Absolutely. That's
And
great.
being thrifty. Thank you.
Other questions? How about online? Do we have questions? Oh, here you go.
You said this was your 3rd deal.
Yes, sir.
Could you talk a little bit about, just at a high level, about what the progression looked like from 1st deal to 2nd deal to 3rd deal?
Yes, sir.
And what your appetite for risk was there?
So what's the progression that you've gone through deal to deal?
Like how much have I
Doors, how much you buy them for versus now?
Okay, so North Star Apartments I bought for 1.3. We sold for $3 million.
How
The 24 units, and the passives got their 100% back plus 176. And the second deal, Tarasco Villas of Tarasco, that's also 24 units, and it was actually 12 duplexes. And I do before and after stuff for all my passives, so they see, like, this is what you bought, this is what you got now, you know. Because I want you to know the progression, because I feel like, not that you're my boss, but you have a say in what I do. And it's your money I'm messing with, you know. So I really, but it's maybe because I'm a school teacher, but I really give back to y'all of what's going on the property, so you're well aware. So Villas of Tarasco, 24 units, and we bought for 1.289, and sold for $3 million, and they got 100% plus 167%. And this one, I paid out 9% at third quarter. So third quarter on all my deep value plays, I have been able to pay out, which is,
That's, yeah,
I
spectacular.
tell them, the mentors tell me to tell y'all, you will not get paid for 2 years because it's a deep value play, but I rock it. But I'm a very busy kind of person, and I love that, and that's, I mean, I just really love it, so, you know.
How big is this one?
This is 124 doors.
So you went from 24 to 24 to 124.
Yes, but we had no money to get started, and that's what, like, we saved the money, we had $100,000, so that gave me enough
Yeah, you
to.
sold all of Chad's stuff.
Yes, so that gave me, so this is how we did it.
You
Okay.
would almost think, Chris, that we like the number 24 also, right?
Yeah.
That's what Dell said. But we had no money, so that $100,000 I took, bought North Star. I refinanced my house because I had refinanced it before but didn't get any cash out. Got money out of that to buy my second deal, and then to buy my third deal, I refied North Star. So I refied North Star. We got 100% refi plus some. So that gave me money for Boardwalk. Well, we're looking, anyway. So our next projection is refi Boardwalk and buy another deal.
Very good. More questions?
So I've just been flipping money, basically. That's all I'm doing. We only had $100,000 to get started. And as a passive, you don't even need that, because I've had $5,000 on my deal, because I really try to help everyone out, you know?
Well, we were also in 2 passive deals also.
Yeah.
So
And they took
prior
my
to
25.
being
I
in-
had to have 25, but I'm like, hey.
We
I do
do
whatever
try
to
and
help
help out
people.
the new passives that have not been in any deals as much as we can.
So when
I
was
think-
your first
I
one?
think I've seen the question up there. It was $7,000 that's in Boardwalk, Chris.
Yes, sir.
I want to say that this particular person had been trying to get into a deal and couldn't get into a deal and was tired of sitting on the sidelines, so took the money set aside to go buy like a single family, and then we come along with Boardwalk. And
I bet they're happy.
yeah, and they were
Yeah,
like,
they
you know,
are.
this is what I have left. I was tired of sitting on the sidelines, so, you know, would you take it? You know, it'd be my first deal. So there, that's why the $7,000 is in there.
What were you asking?
Timing.
Oh yeah, timeline. So your first one, when did you buy your first one?
I bought my first one 2018. 2019, we bought our second deal. 2020, we bought our third deal. So legitly, I've just been flipping money. Okay, we had nothing.
One a year.
And so,
What happened to 2021?
COVID.
Okay.
But we have been, I've analyzed like 150 properties. That's Robert.
2022 is kind of coming to a close.
Yes, we're there.
Okay. That's good to know. Okay.
Yes, we are.
You have a
All right.
ranch shirt on. Did you get the
Yes.
big truck back?
He did.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I did, yeah. I mean, I did.
And so this is our what's it called? Our brand for our family. So it has a cross, and then it has CL squared. So it's Chad, Lisa, Caden, and Lawson. So if you're a teacher, it's squared is that's 2. And so our property management is CL squared property management, CL squared asset management. But the cross is before us because God's before all that we do.
Very good.
So
Brian and Meredith.
yes.
Very good people. All right.
That depends on who you talk to,
Okay.
right?
Brian's your brother.
Mine.
Your brother. Okay. So
I-
the hat thing
he's
runs in the
younger than
family
me.
somehow. Oh, he's younger than you. Okay. All
No,
right.
he copies me.
Okay. How much longer did he do this before he let you in on the secret?
Well, he had told Chad nonstop. He told Chad, but Chad never told me. So I called Brian asking. He's like, "I've been talking to Chad for 6 months. Why haven't y'all done this?" I'm like, "I don't even know what you're talking about." And then we jumped. We were just passive, and we bought an RV because we were getting $300 every quarter, and we thought we were rich because it's free money. We're not working for it. So we bought an RV and traveled every weekend. And then Brian, my little brother, called me and said, "Hey, Lee, I'm quitting my job." I'm like, "What do you mean you're quitting your job?" Because he's got 2 kids like I do. And he's like, "Well, I'm going to be a lead investor." I'm like, "Well, shoot, I could be a lead investor." So that was basically it. It was just like, you could do it, I could do it. Let's get it done. And that's what we did, and prayed. We prayed. I prayed. My children prayed,
So if you could tell the new folks that are here tonight one thing, what would it be?
Get off your butt and do it.
Yeah, don't be
It's
scared.
amazing. It's and I mean, you could pray if you pray, but it's just, when I look at people and they're working and I know they have to work, and it makes you realize how blessed you are because you took the step. I mean, by you being here, you're taking a step, and so make connections with leads. get in there, come to all the education they offer. What you're basically paying for is a college education. So you could go to college and flunk out, or you could make it and get a graduate degree. It's up to you to do it. No one's going to do it for you, and no one's going to hold your hand. But if you pray, I pray nonstop. But I did have, like, Karen let me volunteer, and I have ladies that want to come with us and volunteer, and that's what it's about. It's about paying it forward, and Lifestyles is like an open checkbook. It's very weird, because when I had my school, this woman, the grandma, had storage units. I'm like, so what's your NOI on that? And she was like, what? And I was like, well, what do you bring in a month? And she's like, we don't talk about that. And I'm like, I'm sorry.
That's not so much an open checkbook, but there's a lot of information that everybody is willing to share.
But
So-
my family and friends, everyone thought we were crazy. Brian lives in Dallas, so he wasn't here with our family, and my family saw me getting rid of everything we had. And I'm willing to sell my house and live in the travel trailer so I could make this happen for us. Because we didn't have a 401k. We didn't have,
Did you buy a $1 million trailer?
$1 million. No.
Yeah.
With 9 doors.
No. But it's just getting it done. You just have to be willing to take the step, and by you being here, you're taking the step. Just get out there and do it.
Awesome. Any online questions we need to address? No?
What is your net worth increased from the beginning till today? That's from Tony.
So at the beginning, I think we were less than 500,000. We're close to 3 million.
Nice. In a short period of time. Excellent.